Hello there. Um, Back to my exterior vlog, summer vlog, and this I think is probably the last day. I would be shooting video over here because I'm going back to my home. So yeah, it's gonna be boring again, but still I'll make the videos as interesting as possible. Probably not monkey vlogs and stuff like that, but still I'll try to do my best. So I'm sorry guys, but the time has come that I need to leave this place now. So today I'm making another exterior vlog in this location out there. Yeah, beautiful location. I've come there actually. If you remember, my video about the Greek myths was in this very location. So enough of that. Today's video is about best book to movie adaptations. And when I say book to movie adaptations, I mean hardcore book to movie adaptations, like the best of them. So before I actually start with my opinion, let me make this really clear. There's nothing to be, feel bad about if your favorite movie doesn't come in this list, because this is my opinion. When I say this is my opinion, I mean it. I mean, I don't do it like I'm not talking about the popular book to movie adaptation. This might not be so good to you, but at least that's my opinion, so you need to accept that. And another thing I would like to clear off straight away, it's all about book to movie adaptations, movies that are based on real life books. I don't mean about anything else, because if I do, that will be a totally new list of best movies. So yeah, you need to be prepared to that too, because being a booktuber myself, anything other than something related to books is not really my favorite thing. So I'll go to my usual location where I had shot the Greek myths video. I'm walking right now. Sorry if the camera is shaky, because it's supposed to be. It's a low resolution camera. Okay, so my picks. My first place goes to, like, I'm not actually ranking this. I'm just saying like the top 10 or something. But I would first like to mention the Twilight Saga. Now I know at this very point most of you will quit the video, because I've never seen a good Twilight fan so far. I don't know why people really consider Twilight with the hatred, but I'm walking backwards now. Actually, there's a lot of poop over here, so I need to be careful. Yeah. So, Twilight is this one book which has got my attention since a long time, because when I first read the Twilight Saga, let me tell you this like a background story before I begin. I am always like I love the weather when it is cloudy, rainy, misty, foggy, and I love forests. I love, I wouldn't say vampire at this moment. I really don't like those fictions that's got to do with paranormal romance, but still Twilight is really good. So when I read the book, I always wanted to picturize that, and when I saw the movie, well, the movie was out actually, but I never watched it because of the reviews, the negative reviews that people make. Most people really don't appreciate Twilight. But when I did watch the movie, I was like, oh my gosh, that's exactly how I'm supposed to picturize it. I mean, picturizing Twilight is amazing in the movie. It just makes the entire world of folks with the vampires, the tribes, and the werewolves and the clans, and then finally the Bella, the Carlyle's family. Everything becomes so clear watching the movie. You just cannot ought to dislike it. I mean, the fog, the mist, it's picked to its core in Forks in that movie. So yeah, Forks being my favorite place and picturizing it with my favorite characters of my favorite story is probably my favorite movie. The second mentioning that I would do is, let's see, the movie is not really famous. I mean, yeah, it is famous, but people really don't like it because it's, according to the other guys, boring. But it is To Kill a Mockingbird, based on the book To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. Now this is another amazing adaptation. Though it is black and white, it just brings the heart of the book in the movie. There is no changes at all, and I'm not the kind of guy who says this, that like if there's no change the movie is good. No, that's not the thing, because I do love Percy Jackson, but the thing is, To Kill a Mockingbird has got that essence of character picking. I mean, Atticus and Jem and Scout and their expressions and the situations, the scenario is picked, oh my gosh, to its core, to the ultimate extent, making it one of the best movies without even comparing the book. So that's probably my favorite movie too. So it has to be my favorite book to movie adaptation. I mean, not a single word is changed in the movie. Of course, there is a little bit of minor changes that happened in the school because there was no teacher's reference in the movie. But the thing is, if you make the movie just like the book, it would be really, really long. I mean, that's good enough to make a TV show with one chapter being one episode or something. But movies shouldn't run that long. So a big thumbs up to Kill a Mockingbird, the black and white original movie. Now the next reference I would give, you probably most of you agree with that. It is the most cliched answer for the best book to movie adaptation, and that is Harry Potter. Being a Harry Potter fan myself, being a wizard myself to be very honest, and when I kind of like look at the movie, especially the first one, the Sorcerer's Stone, really I don't like the title. The Americans should never have changed it. I mean, the Britain Philosopher's Stone looks so bookish, and the Sorcerer's Stone is not really that good, but still the movie is amazing. I mean, most of the people commonly believe, oh my gosh, there's a lot of flies over here. Anyway, so most of the people commonly believe that the first book is like a script to the movie, which probably explains you what kind of movie it is. It is an amazing and awesome movie. Now the next mentioning that I will do is probably something which most of the guys wouldn't agree. I mean, I've never read these books, but I've heard that these are the best. So um, to be very frank, I have never read any of the dystopian novels so far, neither Hunger Games nor Divergent, but still I kind of started to love the trailers. I've never even watched the movie because probably I'm gonna have some spoilers, which I don't want to, being a book nerd myself. But still, alright, so let me just place it over here. But still, the movie is amazing. I mean, I've heard people say this. I cannot experience it, but I would give the next place to Divergent, and after that to Hunger Games, because the trilogy is amazing. The movie is actually a quadrilogy. Like there are two parts of Allegiant and two parts of I think Mockingjay. And the thing about these movies, oh, so the thing about these movies is they have not changed a word from the book. I've heard that, and I've heard that the districts, or maybe the factions, is that what you call it, is described in the most best way to picturize. So it's kind of amazing, guys. I don't know, I cannot personally make a comment over this, but with going with the stream, going with the people's assumption, I would say Hunger Games and Divergent is the best, probably the best book to movie adaptation. Now after this, there is something which probably none of you would agree with me, because most of the guys who watch these movies are like, hey, that's totally different. I mean, the writer himself becomes like really taunting and sarcastic when it gets to the discussion about movies. But I'll just say it, please don't dislike this video and please don't unsubscribe, because I mean it when I say it. The next book to movie adaptation that I love is, oh my god, the Percy Jackson saga. Are you still there? Thanks a lot, guys. I mean, if you're still watching this video at this moment, I am more than pleased to have you, because I have never seen a single soul in this universe who doesn't like, who likes Percy Jackson. I mean, everyone hates the series, the movie series, obviously, not the books. To such an extent, people feel like almost murdering the director or something. But let me tell this, being very frank with you, the story really doesn't matter to me. I don't see any sort of resemblance in the book and movie, as Rick Rodden once said in his, I think, the House of Hades event. The movie was about Greek gods, and the protagonist was Percy Jackson. That was the only coincidence, and there was nothing same other than that. So yes, I totally agree with that. But is there any condition that the movie is supposed to be like book? I mean, let me make this little statistical observation over here. Even Rick did that when in one of his shows. He was like, an average American in a year reads just 14 books, 1 point cleared, and in a year almost let's see, like 35 billion books are published worldwide. And an American, like I'm just talking about American over here, an American needs to pick 14 books out of these 35 billions, plus the ones that are published previously. So it is like totally turning into a trillion books, and the readers have to pick 14 out of it. So, and another amazing thing, 40% of the adults never read a book throughout the year. Having said that, like, obviously nobody reads books, and those who read, like me, they would be fine as long as the story is good. So I really wouldn't mind if the plot is changed. I've heard that even the oracle is changed. Yeah, like the oracle of Delphi has changed Percy's age. Like when he was making the Sea of Monsters, he looked almost 16. I mean, he looked like 17 or something. So the oracle was changed. It was made to 18, which was pretty, like, most of the readers hated that. It was controversial, but still somehow it went by and it passed out the boards. It did earn something, but it wasn't popular at all. I mean, it was like a flop, but still the appreciation I would give to it, across my heart, I swear to the sticks, is amazing. I mean, the plot is totally changed, but the characters are set up exactly the way you could see them in the books. The location is picked exactly the way you would see them in the books. And finally, if you talk about, let's see now, the theme. When I say the theme, I just don't mean the music, everything, background, the cover, the playlists. That's probably everything meaning the same thing, but still everything was amazing. I mean, it resembles so much to the book. I'm not talking about the plot at all, guys. I'm just talking about the character, the location, and the theme. It resembles so much to the book. I mean, my dream cast was successful. I only thought about Logan Lerman when I read the book, probably because I knew he was the guy in the movie, but still I loved it. So a big thumbs up to Percy Jackson, especially the Sea of Monsters. And I like the theme. The music is amazing. It's so epic. Damn epic. I wish they would make other movies too, but most of the readers don't like to see Percy that way. So nobody really appreciates having more Percy Jackson movies, and that's probably because no Percy Jackson movies coming right now. 20th Century Fox is not making more Percy Jackson movies. The first was directed by Chris Columbus. The second, I don't know who is the director, but that was really better than the first. Yeah, Chris Columbus, the one who has like directed the first 3 Harry Potter movies, is probably the best director you could ever have. So that's one thing. And finally, I'm coming to my best picks. Like when I say these best, I mean better than all of the stuff that I've ever mentioned below. Like all these movies were okay, but my favorite book to movie adaptation, and when I say favorite, I mean like hardcore fandom, and how I actually looked at the book exactly the way the movie showed me. Like I just had that glimpse, and that was it, the end. I mean, the story was just the movie. The book looked like a script to the movie, or the movie probably didn't look like an adaptation at all. It looked like a thing that goes parallel to the book. I wouldn't say book was made after, but they went almost parallel to each other. And that is, now I'm totally excited to say this, it's The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Steven Chbosky. not the Steven Chbosky. Actually, the movie is directed by some other guy. I really don't know, but that adaptation, The Perks of Being a Wallflower, is the best book to movie adaptation ever made. I mean, come on, guys, you can never expect such an amazing adaptation throughout your life if you even have a look at that. I mean, Perks of Being a Wallflower had this one point where Logan Lerman has to be emotionally disturbed. I think at the end of the book, like when he actually realizes that his aunt actually misused him. So at that point, he's kind of missing Sam and Charlie, and he's alone in his home. He doesn't have his sister around, and he emotionally gets totally disturbed and he starts to weep. And that's the best expression I've ever seen. Ever seen. The best expression of the anxiety and of that sadness and insecurity and that assumption that he might be wrong, and the blankness in the expression was oblivion. I mean, I just loved that point. Of course, obviously, I did love the entire movie. The movie was probably bought right from the stories, right from the book. Pick the juice, put it in the movie, and bam, you have The Perks of Being a Wallflower in front of your eyes. So that's amazing, guys. I mean, that was probably the best book to movie adaptation ever. Having said that, I have two more adaptations that I need to talk about, and I'm pretty sure John Green is always like the best author of the books, and his books become the best book to movie adaptation. So far there's only two. There's The Fault in Our Stars and The Paper Towns. Probably one of my favorite books. I mean, Paper Town is my second favorite book after Perks of Being a Wallflower, and it's just amazing. Fault in Our Stars, one of my other favorite books. The movie is amazing. I mean, let's say John Green is kind of lucky this way because he gets to monitor the entire film. I mean, yeah, he just kind of does it like his duty, and it always ends up amazing. So a big thumbs up to Paper Towns and The Fault in Our Stars. Probably Fault in Our Stars was a teeny tiny bit better than Paper Towns, but both were at the toppest levels I could ever think about. So that'll kind of conclude my picks on my favorite book to movie adaptations. Yeah, I do want to mention the Diary of a Wimpy Kid, all the three movies, and let's see, the Narnia saga was also amazing. I mean, that was like amazing graphics and good locations and realistic approach. And even the Diary of a the Diary of a Young Girl, Diary of Anne Frank, the BBC adaptation, yes, it looked a lot like an actual diary. So yeah, even that would be a good idea. And Steve Jobs, based on the book Steve Jobs by Walter Isaacson, was also amazing. I mean, that was probably the best biographical non-fiction book to movie adaptation ever made. Okay, I'm making this into a category. And then I think the next place I would like to give it to, let's see, now this is really not a movie, but it's this TV series Famous Five, based on the books Famous Five by Enid Blyton, which I used to read when I was in 6th grade. And probably I thought back then the TV shows were the best adaptations ever made. Now the sun is directly above my head, making my eyes close and my pupil like small, but still I'm sorry for that. Now if I come in the shadow, it's really not a good lighting. So back to the old location. So yeah, that's kind of my picks on my favorite book to movie adaptations ever made. There is actually this one more last movie that I need to mention, but probably it's not a book to movie adaptation. I mean, the movie is named after a book, but it actually is an adaptation of another book, which too is also incomplete. In other words, The Theory of Everything, Stephen Hawking's movie, is not at all based on the book Theory of Everything, but in fact is based on his first wife's biography, her journal. But it really does not adapt everything that's there in the journal, adds a lot of stuff, but the cast was amazing. Stephen Hawking especially. I really don't know his name, but still it just brings up goosebumps on me. And yeah, the movie was I mean, it wasn't really a book to movie adaptation at this point, because it got story from none of his books, none of anybody's books. The movie was biographical, but at least it was based on a writer, so I would really think that's amazing. So yeah, if I actually continue my video, I will go on and on and on. I'll probably make this video 24 hours long or something, because it's already like 20 minutes. I don't exceed this, so I'll quit the video over here. You will see me day after tomorrow in my home making a bookshelf tour or something like that. Probably a bookshelf tour, I don't know. So I'll see you guys later then. Until then, yes, I do miss this place. You too miss this place. I'll try to visit here a little often, but once I complete my 10th grade and get into the 11th grade, I really don't think that's possible with a busy schedule. But still, I'll try, guys. So I'll see you guys later in my home then. Until then, bye. Let's see. Thank you.